It's been a while since I've taken a look at some mini PCs, and I figured now's as good a time as any to see exactly what's going on in that market. What I have in front of me today is the Kamrui E3B. It's a Ryzen 7 mini PC that alleges to be gaming capable. I think that's become a common theme among mini PCs, and the whole gaming capable thing might just be a marketing ploy. But can the E3B actually game? We're gonna find out. Inside the box you have the mini PC itself, you have its power supply, an HDMI cable, and a mounting bracket. Under the hood, it's rocking an AMD Ryzen 7. That's 8 cores, 16 threads. It's got 32 gigs of DDR4. This specific version came with a 512GB M.2 drive, and it's got a Radeon RX Vega 8 GPU. Now, based on these specs alone, I would expect it to give some fairly decent gaming performance, maybe on par with an entry-level to mid-range gaming laptop, but we're gonna find out. In terms of I/O, over on the front you have a power button, a 3.5mm headphone jack, 2 Type A USB 3.2 ports, and the USB Type-C port that can actually be used with a display outputting at 4K 60Hz. Over on the backside you have 4 more USB 3.2 ports, an RJ45 Ethernet port, DisplayPort output at 4K 60Hz, and HDMI output at 4K 60Hz. That's right, you counted correctly, this thing can actually support 3 displays. It's got plenty of ventilation real estate all around, keeping it nice and cool, and it's got Bluetooth 5.2 and Wi-Fi 6. Powering it up, it's running Windows 11 Pro, and makes for a pretty decent low footprint small office setup. But I think the same could be said for most mini PCs. I'm gonna jump straight into gaming. Playing Hogwarts Legacy, you can push it to medium settings and it's mostly playable, but you will encounter some frame rate dips, going as low as 23 frames a second sometimes. On low settings, it stays pretty consistent at 30 frames a second, occasionally dipping down to the 28-27 frames a second mark. Street Fighter 6 was unplayable on medium settings, but once brought down to low, it ran at a consistent 60 frames a second. Definitely not the most ideal way to play this game, but it is in fact playable on this machine. On medium settings, Cyberpunk would dip as low as 16 frames a second. Definitely not how you want to play this game. And even on low settings, I couldn't get it to get up to 25 frames a second. You might be able to get away with playing the game this way, but would you really even want to? Spider-Man played decent on medium settings and even better on low settings. I think the sweet spot for this mini PC are games that came out for the 7th and 8th generation of consoles. If you're sticking with PC versions of those games that came out during that time period, you should be able to play most of them on medium and low settings. Trying to push it to play games that were designed for the 9th generation, yeah, it's just not having it. Switching over to emulation, starting with PS3, it's going to be very hit or miss. While some games appear to be playable, others just wouldn't boot at all or run extremely slow and choppy. Nintendo Switch ran really good and most games played at full speed. You might be able to squeeze a 2x resolution out of some games, but for the best results, you're better off keeping it at a 1x native. Xbox 360 showed glimpses of working fine. When the games were actually running, they seemed to be running at a decent speed, but then it would just crash on me out of nowhere. So needless to say, this PC just didn't really like 360 emulation all that much. Original Xbox looked good, ran good, and you can actually squeeze a 2x resolution comfortably out of it. It was the exact same story with PlayStation 2, and even with the filters and shaders applied, it ran really well. So the Kamrui E3B, guys, I have to say, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the performance. But are we really calling it gaming capable? I would say yes, as long as you're not trying to oversell and stick with games that came out around the 7th and 8th generation. As far as emulation goes, the thing is pretty beastly for a mini PC, and I honestly feel like you're getting a decent price to performance ratio with this one. These Ryzen mini PCs can oftentimes be hit or miss, and I think this one is a hit. For the price, I'd rate it really fair with its capabilities. As always, I'll have links to everything that I talked about in the description below in case anyone's interested. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.